Welcome to another episode of Seriously Funny. I'm your host, Mashmer Kabir. And what's up? The window's open. There are birds outside. If you hear them, sorry, but if I close my window, I will burn completely. Let's not have that happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sorry if you hear some birds. If anything, it should be better. Birds are nice. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you wake up early, you hear them with you. Homies, those birds. But yeah, turn the volume down more because I still peak sometimes. Yeah, again, I guess I can ask how is everyone, and you can answer to yourself in your head. I guess it's an important question. I don't answer that question to myself very often. I don't think about it often. People are like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, I am. Yep. Why don't you give me a straight answer? To be honest, I don't ask that question myself. Afraid of the answer sometimes, so I'm just like, nah, whatever. I'm just gonna be alive, and I think that's a pretty solid state to be in. Yeah. Other than that, school, screw you, school. All right. So if I don't have the capability to stress, my body just doesn't like cortisol, I guess, and it doesn't want to release it, but that's the hormone that is correlated with stress. But if I was able to stress, I swear, every time I get an email from my school email, I would just break down and cry. Man, it's so... College bureaucracy makes me want to cry. College, everything makes me want to cry. And so I had to do all this stuff, sign up for classes and whatnot. And I signed up for physics. I read through the paper and everything it said, and I got myself placed in physics. I look at my class registry a few days later. Chemistry. Excuse me, didn't sign up for this. And the reason it mattered is because chemistry said you have a 15 to 60 hour thing to do over the summer. Nah, bruh, nah. I said nah. So I email my academic advisor, bruh, and I say, hey, what's up? I trust your academic advising and all, but I'm never gonna do chemistry in my life. I'm studying electrical engineering. Chemistry isn't that useful for me. I think, why did I get placed in here? Question mark. Best regards, don't hate me. This is not an angry email. Just wondering, the nice guy stuff. Simping out a bit, you know what I'm saying? With my academic advisor. And they respond, and basically the email is just, please shut up, Mashnor, thank you. And I said, okay, all right, I'll just suffer. I don't know how chemistry is going to help me in electrical engineering. Maybe they'll say, hey, don't pour water on your circuit boards. Yeah, thanks for the tip. I'm sure I couldn't have figured that one out myself after, 18 years of being alive and being stupid and probably having dropped water on the dumbest. I have definitely dropped liquids on things I should not have dropped liquids on. For example, a laptop once. Yeah, that was a bad time. Anyways, it happened, whatever. That laptop is still functional and some being used today, so whatever. I'm not using it, but someone is within this domicile. I don't know, it gets passed around this house. But yeah, chemistry, huh? I guess you need chemistry for everything. I guess you could argue that, but man, like that's like telling a doctor to go study elephants. Yeah, sure. They're alive, they have cells, but like, I'm not trying to become an elephant doctor. I'm becoming a doctor. Why do I need this? Yeah. I don't know, man. College, maybe they just hate me. I don't know, man. Friggin' college. God. Don't go to college, kids. That's the more... No, I'm kidding. If you want to go to college, take yourself to college. If you're no one wants to go to college. If you... some people might. Well, if the occupation you want to apply yourself in later in life requires college, i.e. a surgeon, i.e. a doctor, i.e. a lawyer, then take yourself to college. Otherwise, don't go. I don't know, man. Save yourself the money if whatever you want to be doesn't require it, i.e. a rapper. Just go rap your face off on SoundCloud until you get popular. Animator. Don't go to art school. Worst decision ever. I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I can't make that joke. It's actually offensive if I make it, so I probably shouldn't make that joke. But yeah, whenever I listen to or watch YouTubers that are artists, talk about the ones that did go to art school, talk about it. They make fun of themselves a lot and say, "Don't do that." So maybe maybe you shouldn't go. I don't know. Go listen to art school YouTubers. They talk about it a lot. So yeah, today we have empathy on the plate. Let me get my phone and my show notes. Probably should have gotten them out earlier. Let me mute my thing so I don't get a Discord notification. Let's see. Pull my notes up. Show notes. So we got a few things to talk about before we get into empathy. This might be the 1 hour episode that we break. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's I don't know what I'm trying to. Oh yeah, I need to turn my low power mode off so that my phone doesn't turn off on me, and I have to open it with my sweaty hands because, like I said, it's hot. Not a timer. Don't need a timer. There we go. All right. Finally prepared. Maybe I should have done that before. So, that's awkward. Whatever. We'll be fine. Yeah. Cigarette companies kill their best customers. Condom companies kill their future customers. All right, anyways, now that thought's out of my head, the first thing I have written here is second chances. And I don't know where this came from. It might have been No, it wasn't the Fifth Vital. I was just thinking of forgiveness. Well, I don't know. I think it came from somewhere, YouTube video, book. I don't know where I read it or saw it or heard it, but I thought of second chances. And I think that to most people, second chances are something that you earn, right? You have to, I don't know, maybe apologize is what it takes. A genuine apology is great. And I think that merits more than enough for second. The way I do forgiveness is strange and weird. I'll describe it in a minute. But you should earn your second chances. I remember what I meant by this. Not just the sorry. In today's world, at least, it seems it has to be more than just an apology. You have to do, which I think is fine. However, the time it takes people to forgive is I got hair in my mouth. The time it takes for people to forgive, it seems like it's getting higher and higher, and the amount of people that forgive at all seems like it's getting lower and lower. That sucks. Don't hold grudges, man. Your heart will be heavy, and your cholesterol will go up, and blood pressure will go. You'll die. All right. If you don't forgive people, you'll die. Moral of the story. Understood? That's not. Actually, you will die one day, and if you don't forgive people, you will die. This is a fact. I'm going to stand by that. We are not fixing that comment. There's nothing to fix, okay? Perfect, infallible comment. But yeah, second chances really do have to be earned, and I think I was thinking of Logan Paul. I was listening to him, Paul. A lot of this comes from Paul's great podcast. And, Logan did bad things a while ago. Was it last year? I think it was. I think it was 2019. But now, he's no, it was 2018. Oh God, I suck with time. It happened whenever it happened, whatever. But it's he's had to work really hard for people to look at him again. The same, and he did do it. He did the work. He changed himself. He grew. He evolved. He learned from the mistake, as you should. And gang, fire. And so if you make mistakes, or for some reason, if you're famous listening to this, thank you. Please shout me out. If you're famous listening to this and you get, quote, canceled, end quote, even if you're in high school, I don't know how far this cancel culture bull crap is going, but if it happens in school, I don't get involved in drama ever in my life. My life's really boring and simple and plain, and no drama, unfortunately. Sorry, don't have the spicy spice to give you. I guess that's not true. I don't know, all the drama I've been, I forgot. And that's life. All the bad things will just dissipate. Don't worry. If you're 16, 14, 18, 19, 74, give it a year or two, you won't remember. If you're 74, give it a year or two, and you won't remember because of I probably shouldn't joke about that. As for the next thing was to talk about is the giving of the second chance. Say you were the person that was wronged. When should you give a second chance? I think it goes person to person, and it's obvious. It depends, right? On in what way were you wronged? Did you get literally stabbed in the back? Did they take a knife and just stick it into your spinal cord? Are you crippled now? Do you give them a second chance? In my opinion, yeah. Oh, things falling apart. Let's put this laptop on charge and hope that doesn't time out again. Anyways, is there a time when you shouldn't give a second chance? That was a second bullet. I think it's complicated. And I think the position that I stand and the type of being that I am is very strange for me to advise on this and speak on this. I think as a person, just as normal people going about their lives and days, the average Joe, rich, poor, whatever, you're just a normal human being. You're not some like monk, I don't know. And if that's the case, then yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of situations in which although you forgive, do you let them back in? Where does the forget come in? Does the forget exist? And yeah, it really is hard to speak on. I guess that's going to tie into what we speak on later with empathy for me. But yeah, it's hard to speak on. I will share how I see it. And yeah, so the way I see it is, let's say I'm vibing, being a tree hugger and a hippie and a acid dropper. I don't do drugs and I don't recommend anyone else do them. But, joke's sake, lunatic, hippie, weed smoking, whatever the hippie stereotypes are. I'm called a hippie and a weirdo because I study the spiritual stuff and I talk about the spiritual stuff and people look at me weird, but I don't think I'm a lunatic. But anyways, let's say I'm vibing, next to a tree that I just hugged, obviously, and I'm just sitting there meditating under the tree like a Zen monk, like Oshu, Mr. Monk Man. It's a Zen master in a koan. Koans are like paradoxical. Whatever. Crap, man. I'm bad at staying on top. Maybe I do meditate every day. I should do it better. Anyways, I'm meditating on a tree and some guy comes up and thinks, hey, you're weird. You're a hippie, lunatic, everything else I just said and all the other stereotypes I might get completely destroyed for later in my life when I try to become the president. JK will not become the president. But yeah, let's say some guy comes up and says, F you. And he spits on my face or something. What do? I first rub the spit off my face. Ew. Spit. Put your mask on, sir. Come on, we're in COVID times. But at the end of the day, that was strange. What an encounter. Homie just marches away because I don't know what to say. How do I respond? Because, I'm not angry. But am I supposed to get angry? Well, I don't know what to do in that situation. I'm really bad with people being mean to me. I don't know how to respond because I don't get offended. It's strange. But yeah, let's say homie spits on me. I don't say anything and he feels really awkward because I'm just vibing there, and he walks away. And then I go the next day to meditate under the same tree and he comes back and he says, sorry, will you forgive me? My answer to him would be, huh? What do you mean? For what? What'd you do? He'll probably look at me like I am an actual legitimate lunatic and maybe that I have dementia at the age of 18. And I spit on your face yesterday, kind sir. That's why I'm coming to apologize. And I'll look at him and be like, the guy's face that you spit on yesterday, he's not here today. And the person that spit on that guy's face yesterday is also not here today. Who I am today, who you are today, is not who we were yesterday. We're different people. And so I don't give second chances because everyone's always on their first chance. The other way to say it is I give people an infinite amount of second chances. It doesn't matter. What do I have to lose? I don't think the way that I lead my life, and I will probably continue to lead my life forever, is to harm me in any way is just going to be so absolutely hard. It's going to be near impossible. Just the way I conduct myself is, fairly hard to stab me in the back. I basically don't have a back. I'm sure it's possible in ways that I haven't thought of because I'm not smart enough. But, I try to be very open and honest with everyone about myself. I don't hide things. I'm not a secretive dude. Everything is what it is. You ask me questions, I answer the questions without, much care, whatever. Again, is what it is. And so everyone knows basically the same things about me, starting rumors, starting this, starting that, saying XYZ about me. People will usually know me, know my honesty, and know that I don't lie. I think lying is, lying is weird. The reason I don't do it is because I like the challenge in life. It makes talking more fun without the whole lying thing. I'm not allowed to lie, so how do I honestly say everything in a way that won't just I don't know. Lying helps people get out of situations. How can I get out of situations with honesty? It's a fun challenge that I've been living by for many years. I have lied a few times, but I feel like I can count those times on a single hand. But yeah, that's why I can forgive. Maybe that's one of the reasons I can forgive so readily. And I don't really do forgiveness much in general, because forgiving is, admitting that you were wronged. And usually I don't think people wronged me. Whenever something happens to me, I usually say, all right, I probably did something that brought that on. What did I do? Let's say, let's go back to the dude spitting on my face. Let's say he spit on my face in the moment. I'd probably think, all right, why did this happen? And he said, I'm a hippie weirdo. There's the chance that he's just having a horrible, crappy, bull crap day, or that some hippie tried to invite him into a cult and ruined his life. I don't know. And then there's, maybe I shouldn't be meditating here. Maybe this is, just a bad, I'll try to think about what I did that could have prevented it. It's never the other person. And, people are great. I don't think I haven't been wronged for the past 3 years by anyone. I haven't had a negative interaction with a single human being in the past 3 years, which is absolutely amazing to say. And I'm sure that a lot of people will not agree with that statement in the sense of, themselves. They won't be able to say the same thing. But yeah, people are dope. So that's how my forgiveness works. I don't need to forgive because no one did anything wrong in my opinion. And by the chance that they did, or they just want forgiveness for the sake of their own guilt, of course I'll give it because whatever. But yeah, I don't know, forgive people. It makes my life easier. Holding grudges, like I said, you'll die if you hold grudges. That's a fact, certifiable fact. So yeah, don't hold grudges, kids. Bad for your everything. Yeah, grudges suck. I look at when I don't speak, and either it's me what I'm thinking to speak or just giving a little pause, and I see the empty line on this Audacity audio meter thing. I don't know, telling me that it's picking up my voice and how loud it is. And the empty lines scare me. And so people edit podcasts, right? And I don't have anything to edit because I don't have sponsors. I don't take pee breaks, and I don't. What is there to edit? I'm not saying anything. I don't swear. It's cool, right? And so I think, should I edit out the silent spaces? But To what extent is that just weird? I think the longer silent spaces, such as the beginning, like when I was opening my phone trying to get my show notes out because I'm an unprepared, genius. Should I edit that out? I don't know. I don't know how this thing works. I usually kind of just record it. I'll edit in the intro if I forgot it or something, and that's about it. I don't edit it. Maybe the quality needs to go up somehow. I think the only way I can raise this quality is get a better microphone and get a better host. Which means I need to learn how to speak. Yep. So, yeah, that'll be worked on with time. The next thing I have written here is friendship. And I thought about this one. I do remember where this one came from. I thought about this one after watching a video from Love, and it's Tackling Modern Loneliness, a little series he did on his YouTube channel. He's a musician. And he was talking to Jeremy Zucker, and he said making friends now, speaking like in his age per se, is harder than when it was younger. And I wanted to think about that. And the first bullet I wrote under that is, that sucks. Ball sacks. Sorry, Love. That does suck. And yeah, it is easy when you're younger, right? Who gives a F? Let's go be buddies. Let's talk on the playground once. We're best friends now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, I don't know, to what extent is it the day and age we're in, i.e. cell phones, technology, blah, 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 blah. And to what extent is it just getting older and, it's not just let's talk once at work and now we're best friends. Now it's I have secrets, I have a life, I have a past, I have stories. And if you don't know them and if you don't care about them, don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't call yourself my friend, don't call yourself my acquaintance, don't look at me, to what extent is it that? And I like to keep the playground idea. If I talk to someone, they're a homie. That's the end of the story, Most people, like I said, absolutely amazing. Everyone I talk to is great. Many of them are willing to share things if you ask, and maybe it's just because I genuinely care and that comes through. And I'm an honest dude, and that also comes through. I'm pretty real. I'm also extremely fake at the same time. That's more or less a joke, I guess. But what's that tendency? I was looking up cognitive bias. Man, I forgot it. The social congruency. No, that's not what it was. Man, can I look this up? Let's see. 25. Let's look them up. Boom. Let's go to this site. I'm looking up the 25 cognitive biases. It's further down. I've been on this website before, so I should remember the picture. That said it was 2 years ago, so there's a chance I completely misremembering it. Oh, frick. I might have completely forgotten it. Stress influence. Another contrast. What is this? Contrast misreaction tendency. Our problem here is a misunderstanding of comparison and missing out on the magnitude of decisions. Here we go. The social proof tendency is an automatic tendency to think and act as others around you think and act. I spoke on episode 1 about how I do that and how we all do that. And that's why it's called the social proof tendency, as we both just learned, or I relearned together. So, yeah, fun. To one extent, I do that, right? I try my best to match their energy, to match the person they like to speak to. Introverts are a lot easier than extroverts. It's easier to show introverts you give a crap because you can have slower conversations. Extroverts, sporadic, and you have to navigate the spontaneity. That's the correct word, but sporadicism is also a great word that I just came up. Is that a real word? Sporadicism. Let's see. Sporadicism. Nope, not a real word. Well, it is now. Made it up. Copyright that. But yeah, maybe friendship is harder these days. And if you fall under that, and you agree with that statement, which I'm sure a ton of people do for the reasons I said, I don't know the societal influences, right? Because I'm part of this society, this age. I'm really young, 18, so I don't know what it was like way before. Sure, phones weren't a big thing. The first iPhone came out when I was in kindergarten, I think. So I mean, I've seen, or through my life, phones have evolved as I've evolved, but at the same time, me and cell phones are basically the same age. Are we? No, iPhone's on 12, but they've also had S's. How many S's did they have? They had a 5S, a 6S, a 7S, an 8S, a 10S. There's no 11S because 12 is coming out this year. So that's 5 more, plus their 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. Yeah, I mean, me and cell phones are basically the same age. Oh, like, nice. Or at least iPhones. Samsung might have more phones than they might hit 18 or more. But yeah, me and cell phones are the same age. So I grew up with cell phones, literally. I actually got my first cell phone when I was in either halfway through 9th grade or halfway through 10th grade. I don't remember. I think it was 10th grade. Yeah, it was definitely 10th grade. It was through 10th grade that I got my first phone. So I didn't, quote, grow up with a phone, end quote. I didn't always have a phone. But in the terms of technology and the growth of technology, as the chips get smaller and everything gets better, cooler, and now your phone basically has any bezels except for that little bump at the top, because everyone that listens to me has an iPhone. This is probably not true, but it should be. Get an iPhone. I just lost 70 viewers. Okay. It's fine. Android users, man, nerds. It has its benefits, and they become more and more alike as with every software update. Anyways, yeah, that's friendship. I'm sorry if I'm sorry. That's a terrible word to use there. Sympathies and understand, or I understand if you relate to the friends are harder to make, but at least that means probably, hopefully, that the friends you do make are very, very valuable. So that's really cool. I'm going back and forth from my mic a lot. There might be a lot of dimension in this sound. Oh, it really does change. Man, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I basically have my face just stuck to the pop filter of this microphone most of the time, unless I'm looking down at my phone to read these show notes. Anyway, so let's get on to the meat. Empathy. Yeah. Sorry, I just thought the title of what this, or the little, title of the podcast is going to be Second Chances, Friendship, and Empathy. I think it'll just be, probably Second Chances, Friendship, and Empathy. Episode 7, Seriously Funny Podcast. Yep, that's the title. You just heard it made here first. I don't know where else it would be made, so, yep. Anyways, empathy. So the first thing I thought about is this concept of tenses of empathy, and then I feel like this is going to be a definite stretch, and my hamstrings are definitely going to get pulled here. So let's read through this. The first we'll talk about is past empathy, which is knowing what someone went through. Past empathy is looking at someone and saying, I know what you went through. I know your life. I know, everything that happened to you. Right? And I think this is, no, you don't. Or like I said with the guy with the tree, I don't know what happened that day. Did he get caught in a cult from a hippie, lunatic, acid dropper that ruined his life? Did he just have a bad day, right? I don't know, bruh. I don't know that dude. He just came and spat on my face. So this didn't really happen. I don't go outside because I'm a recluse, and COVID doesn't really encourage the whole going outside thing. And America's so genius that they stopped the second wave by keeping the first one going. So, very fun. But yeah, this is one of the hardest empathies to get. Because people won't always share their entire past. So it sucks. And I can speak on this personally when people judge you. Don't judge people in general, in my opinion. But if you do judge someone, don't judge them thinking that you know why they are the way they are. You don't know what they went through. You don't know their life. And even if you think you do, there's probably so many things they didn't tell you, and so many things they don't even remember that helped make them the way they are. In one way or another. Every single moment of your life made you who you are right now. And I definitely don't remember every single one of those moments, and I'm sure that no one else does. So, you don't even remember your own past. So how are you going to go around thinking you know other people's? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's best to assume that you don't know, unless you're there. Maybe you were someone's childhood friend and you grew up with them their entire lives, in which case, yeah, okay, you were there. There's still, of course, things you may not have seen, or heard of or know, but you were there a little bit, in which case you probably won't judge. If you know someone that much and you care about them, you'll be more sympathetic. But yeah, in general, feign ignorance on past empathy, in my opinion. It's interesting thought of breaking this down in tenses. A lot of it came from, I probably should have gotten the fifth vital. Should I? Nah, I'll remember what I need to, if I need to. I don't think I'll. The fifth vital. A lot on empathy in that book, just in the which I spoke about when I spoke about the fifth vital. Whatever, we can skip that. Oh yeah, side note, by the way, Black Bear just released part 1 of his album. Don't remember what it was called. No, I think he went from album to just calling it an LP, a long playlist. But yeah, sounds pretty good so far. Give it a listen. Shout out Black Bear. Been listening to him forever. Love that man. I think I spoke about him. Was it last time? I think so. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, random thought that just came to mind with the whole album reviewing thing I do every now and then. Anyways, the next one is present empathy, right? And knowing how someone feels while they're in front of you. Right there in front of you. Whoa. The typing that here got destroyed, and I didn't notice. They're just as insecure, me, s. What does that mean? Probably as you. They make mistakes. They may be regretting what they did. I'm going to attempt to presume what I meant there. So, present empathy, yeah, knowing how someone feels in front of you. This can be, told to someone by the tone of their voice, their body language, their diction, the, 3 methods of conversing or communicating, and then their energy, if you're a spiritual weirdo that believes in vibrations from the soul. And that'll tell you how someone feels in the moment. You might not know exactly how they feel in the moment. Again, I say this. We'll get to the I in a second. What me? Because this is about me. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, present empathy. To one extent, most people probably have a better knowledge of this than I do. I suck at empathy. We'll get into it more in a second, as I just stated. But yeah, look, man, everyone is just as insecure as you are. Everyone makes mistakes like you do, unless you're perfect. If you're perfect, I'm sorry for assuming. But sorry, if you're perfect, please email me and give me tips on how I can do the same. Anyways, and if they did something wrong, or you're angry about it, or sad about, or disappointed, or whatever, there's a chance that they are literally right there regretting it, and there's a chance that they have a pride that won't let them show that. That's present empathy. Man, this is going to be a long conversation as things just pop up in my head. This is such a short list, just these 3 tenses. Anyways, the next one's future empathy, and this one's weird, right? Is how are people going to feel after you act, after you do something? How will they feel if you got angry, if you got disappointed, if you felt enjoyed? Right? Can you predict people's emotion? To some extent you can, right? Being a-hole, people will probably be angry, have common sense. What's the other bullet point? If the way they'll feel is a way you don't want them to feel, don't react that way. Yeah, so if you have, with that common sense that you just used to imagine how they feel, if you react in a certain way, if they will react in a way that is going to cause you problems or destroy you, you probably shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's future empathy. That's going to be more for you. So, yeah. Next, to speak on what I came out, be empathetic, right? I'm saying a lot of these is hard or impossible, and you shouldn't presume, but try your best to be empathetic. And empathy is so important, in my opinion, as I continue to grow and as I continue to age. And it's hard. It really is hard to be empathetic sometimes, for some people more than others. But yeah, when I was younger, when I was wait, we won't get to me yet. But yeah, try your best to be empathetic, and just behind your empathy, I'm still gonna recommend this, and maybe it's presumptuous of me, but behind your empathy, still just the little voice in your head, remind yourself you're not that person, whoever you're trying to empathize with. And so, although you can understand so close, unless you have gone through the situation, there's, understand your empathy with a grain of salt. I don't know how to word that, but yeah, you might not be completely right. Don't just think you absolutely 100,000 I peaked. I don't know how loud that was. I'm sorry if you all just got ear raped. Anyways, absolutely 100,000% understand every feeling someone's feeling when they went through whatever. If you haven't spoken to them about it at all, it probably definitely isn't 100%. If you have spoken to them, if you've asked your questions, been your genuine self, or you're just a really empathetic character that just knows how people feel through the energy vibrations that we hippies speak about, great for you. But yeah, just remember, there's a chance you're wrong. Sympathy is also important. Now, we're almost to the 40. Let's, what else do we have to say about empathy? Empathy's hard for some people, like I said, and that's okay. The thing is, though, it's a brain thing, right? Maybe to one extent it's the gray matter in your brain, to another it's a lot of things. So the brain's a complicated place, but to my knowledge, to my very, very superficial knowledge, one of the most important parts, besides the limbic system, which controls the emotions in the brain, is the gray matter in your brain. And I don't remember exactly what it does. Something with it's a layer in your brain rather than a part, but man, white matter helps with connections and connecting things, and gray matter, man, I forgot what it does exactly, the exact purpose. Should we give it a Google? Let's give it a Google. I've been Googling all podcast long. Gray matter use, what's the word I'm looking for? Utility, nope. Man, dang it, this is hard. Tip of the tongue, very fun. Gray matter, let's just go gray matter, that's good enough. The darker tissue of the brain, spinal cord consisting mainly of nerve and cell bodies branching. What does gray matter do? Let's look that up. There we go. What does gray matter do? First search. What is the function of gray matter? Gray matter heavy brain regions include those that control muscular and sensory activity, cerebral cortex, the outer layer of the brain, the cerebral cortex. That has nothing to do with empathy. Let's see. Gray matter and empathy. And externalizing personality traits, empathy, and gray matter. Oh, this is a very long. Psychopathology has been linked to prefrontal abnormalities, while clinically diagnosed subjects show altered frontal gray matter. So psychopaths have less gray matter in their brain. That's the study I remember. And psychopaths also don't do the empathy thing. There was another study that also said that they just don't want to. I don't know. Whatever. Brain, fun stuff. This dumb, stupid organ that we all have and has created literally everything in the world, and we don't know anything about it. I guess it's hard to learn about. I was going to say yourself, but it's pretty easy to learn about yourself. I guess the why you're yourself is a harder question, and that goes to the brain. Anyways, yeah. Now, I don't know what it is with me, but I had a conversation with one of my brothers recently, and I asked him, he's known me for quite a few years now, like 3. So, how's the experience been for him, What have I done well, and what have I done not so well? Anything you'd like me to get better at? I think communication is really important. So I give him this product review survey. I ask him about me. But yeah, and he says, no, you're always there. You're great, dope, fun, great. In general, positive review, solid, like 4 stars. Now the way you missed the star, you suck at understanding the things I'm saying. You care. Your advice is A1. Great advice. Great advice. It's not cliche bull crap. It's solid. It's usually not wrong. And if it is wrong, it's not because it's wrong. It's because it's just too hard to do. But yeah, the said, when you give advice, right? Or when you listen, and the things you say and the way you say them. Anyways, he was just kind of beating around the bush, saying that I suck at empathy, and I thought about it. I'm not a prideful egoist, so I'm like, is he right? I think about so many things, so many conversations with so many people, and I come to yep, I suck at empathy. Oh my God, this is bad. This is really bad. So for a few years ago, I went around saying, I don't believe in empathy. I don't think people can empathize at all. And I had this great argument, which was people can't empathize because you can't understand what someone is going through, what someone went through, because you didn't go through it. And even if you went through a similar situation, you're not them. Your experiences, your personalities, so many things can be different. The chance that you find someone that is you exactly and went through the exact same situation in exactly the same way is 0, basically. Like less than the chance of the universe being created. And so, it's just you can't understand because you didn't go through it. How you can't emulate those emotions, because in trying it, you'll fail. And if you tell someone you understand when you really don't, it makes them feel worse. It doesn't help. That is true. If you think you understand and you don't tell someone you get it. Whether you're saying it to just get out of the conversation, don't lie. It's bad. It will hurt them more. If you don't get it, you say, I couldn't imagine. If you would like to describe more, go on. Again, sympathy. If you don't have the empathy, cover for it with extreme sympathy, which is what I try to do, and especially what I'm going to continue to do going forward. But yeah, I had that argument when I was in like 9th and 10th grade. And then later, the argument, I still went around saying empathy doesn't exist, but I wanted people to ask, what do I mean? And I could give the argument that, well, you can try and you should try, and maybe you can get close, but you can't get there. And now I realize that maybe, just maybe, that argument could be correct. I'm not going to say it's completely wrong, but I am going to change it to that was my opinion. And I'm going to retract that opinion. I don't think empathy doesn't exist. I think that I am just incapable of doing it, and I projected that upon everyone else I met. So there's a chance, and that empathy is very possible, and that a lot of people can do it. Again, some people better than others, I'm sure. But and the only reason I thought it didn't exist was because, well, I can't do it. I can't at all. And again, which this is recursive, I also can't imagine then what it would be like to be able to empathize. To one extent, I'm sure it's because I'm not an emotional dude. I don't do emotions. My body doesn't shoot neurotransmitters around all day. That doesn't happen. Emotions aren't my thing. My limbic system, if I got a brain scan, I'm sure there would just be a giant hole where my limbic system is supposed to be, which would also explain my horrible sense of direction, because the hippocampus is also in the limbic system. Man, everything makes sense. But yeah, my limbic system is probably just completely gone. It's probably just a black hole vibing out in my brain. And maybe my gray matter is also just completely... I'm not a psychopath, so maybe it's not. But yeah. Also, psychopaths, they still have emotions. The psychopaths aren't just emotionless friggin' robots. They can still get very angry, still feel very much joy, and I'm sure they can get sad over something. Psychopaths probably aren't that horrible. It's fine. Don't Don't go prejudicing against psychopaths. They're just human beings, a little different than you or I. But yeah, I can't do empathy, and that's the realization I I hit after speaking to him. To one extent, sucks because I talk to a lot of people. Empathy should be important. But to another extent, although I believe in neuroplasticity and the ability to regain empathy, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to go try to regain it. Because he also said, at one point in his life, he was non-empathetic as well, but now he can do it a lot better. And now, I think, sure, I could, but I don't think it's necessary. I still talk to people well. People still talk to me about stuff. And I think I might need to give a disclaimer now. Like, when you tell me about you being angry, I'm probably going to ask you why you're angry and say things that will calm you down, but you'll also get angry at me for calming you down because for some reason people, quote, just want to be angry, end quote. I don't get that. I never will understand that ever in my entire life. Why do you just want to be angry? Why do you just want to be sad? That's illogical. Why would you want to feel these things when you could use them for something, when you could change the feeling, when you can make it go away? It's a negative feeling. Chronic anger is going to... Chronically angry people also will die, and this is also a certifiable fact. God. Chronic anger does have extraordinarily negative effects on your life expectancy, though, so yeah, you will die quicker for sure. But yeah, why do you want to? I'll never understand why. I will not understand. Maybe it's because I don't do anger anymore. I used to have anger issues, but I don't anymore. Maybe it's whatever it is. But why? I don't know, man. I'll just forever be confused, and even trying to articulate it right now, my brain's trying to reboot itself. But yeah, I suck at empathy. That's what I learned. Now, again, I'm going to use a ton of sympathy to try to cover that up. And, when I speak to people, I will probably... I very rarely tell people I get it unless it's a thing that I can get. And usually when I say I get it, I'll try my best to, tell them why I get it instead of just saying I get it. I'll, say, oh, so it feels like this, this, and this. And they'll be like, whoa, you explained it perfectly. And I'll be like, yeah, I've been there. Right? And so... that's my, quote, empathy, end quote. But other than that, yeah, I learned I'm absolutely garbage at it, and I need to very, very much so deal with that. And the way I'm going to deal with it is by not dealing with it. Yep, great idea. Run away from your problems, kids. That's how you should live your life. That's a joke. Please don't run away from your problems. They will chase you to the ends of the universe, and they will grab you, and they will drown you, and after waterboarding you for 10 years. Yeah, your problems are mean, okay? Just deal with them. Get them out of there. Kick them out of the house before they fester. They're like mold. Yeah, stupid problems. But yeah, empathy. It's an amazing thing, and for the people that can do it, I'm sure it's incredible to one extent. I'm sure it sucks to another extent because, man, you understand people's pain. Why would... Ouch. It's not yours, and then you got to understand it. Ouch. That seems unnecessarily painful, which is one of the reasons I don't want to go reattain my empathy. But yeah, this life, I guess. I can't do it. Other people can. That's just how the cookie crumbled for me. And I know some people that are probably much more empathetic than me. And, on the higher end of empathy, just as human beings, they're pretty incredible people. And I think it helps them give a crap. It helps them communicate. Some of them want to be doctors. So it will help them. Thinking of two people in general. Two of my cousins. Yeah, sweethearts. Absolute sweethearts. And... yeah, I think empathy helps in that situation to one extent, and it sucks in another extent. Being able to dissociate while also being empathetic is probably one of the hardest things ever, but probably one thing you need to do as a doctor. So yeah, I mean, the doctor's a hard occupation in general. A, you have to go into $275,000 of debt, and B, your occupation is literally human superhero. It's that's hard. But yeah, shout out doctors. not shout out the American medical system. Screw you, American medical system. You suck. But yeah, empathy. How many times whenever I run out of things to say, you definitely notice how I repeat and I go on digression and then repeat the topic, i.e. empathy, in this situation. If that sucks and is annoying, leave a comment. If you know me, text me. Tell me to stop. Yeah. But that's what I've learned, that I am absolute garbage at empathy. I think I had more to say on it, but let me look up I wrote a post on it. Let me see if I can get some inspiration here and carry this on a little bit more. Empathy part 3. I had 3 parts on empathy. I think about empathy a lot, and it's definitely quite the topic. Empathy part 3. I don't know if this will be out on Wednesdays. Let's see. I wrote about Mike Malek's book, The Fifth Vital, when he explained his withdrawal symptoms, which were absolutely egregious, and I don't want to go through that, and I don't want to empathize with that because it would be terrible. God, it was bad. Read the book. Okay, I say again, man, I'm a marketer for this guy, bro. I want to get paid, or I just want clout. Mike, shut me out. Empathy is hard, I think, on average, and for average people, instead of those 2 empath goddesses that I know. Empathy is probably hard. Do practice it, because I don't recommend that you just throw it away. Practice it. Will be helpful for you just as a human being. Oh yeah, we suck at empathy though in general. Like I said, way hard, and my evidence for this is there's a podcast, The Hidden Brain, and one of the episodes was the hot and cold empathy gap. Think about your past self, and one thing that might come to mind is, man, I was an absolute idiot. Yeah, we think that, and to be honest, to one extent, that's great to think, right? That means you got better, hopefully. But yeah. You think you're an absolute idiot, your past self at least, you were an absolute idiot, and that means you're not able to empathize with yourself. You're not able to understand why you did something. You're not able to understand how you could do something so stupid, how you could go on to be so dumb or whatever. These are the things. But yeah, that's called the hot and cold empathy gap, and that is that you suck at empathy with your past self. So how great can you be at empathy with others then? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, that's why I said grain of salt. Remember, you don't know everything, and if you go in acting like you do, if it didn't affect anyone, well, who cares? But again, it can harm people and make their situations, their problems, whatever whatever you're trying to empathize with, worse. So, while again, I don't have a place to speak on this, because I suck at it, and maybe it is very possible. Remember, maybe, just maybe I was right, and empathy isn't a thing. At least complete and utter 100% empathy. So, the things you say to other people, be careful. What else did I write? Yeah, the hot cold empathy gap, which is research that shows you underestimate the effects of your biases on your ability to empathize. For example, you think yeah, there's a ton more research on our lapses in empathy that you that in your lapses man, I'm bad at reading, sorry. But yeah, there's a ton of research on how we suck at empathy. I moved the mic away from my mouth, and I don't know how quiet it got. But yeah, there's a incredible amount of research on how we're bad at empathy, but there's also a good amount of research how we're good at it. There's physical empathy, like mirror neurons, right? You see someone get punched, and you automatically can replicate that in your head. Your brain, you see something and you replicate it. You feel the pain or discomfort at least, right? And those are your mirror neurons. God. And like yawning when you see someone else yawn. Very simple example. So physical empathy is a thing, very much so. But yeah. Let's see. So lapses on complete empathy, but also research. but also research on our ability to emotionally empathize. So, not. Oh man, I don't know what I wrote there. It is not completely impossible or undoable. Heck, studies show that even psychopaths can feel empathy. They just prefer not to. And like many things, I'm sure empathy is relative. Yep, they're relative. But yeah, there's a ton of studies saying that we can empathize. A ton of studies saying that we're great at empathy. And I haven't done my complete. I should do more research on that. That's a great idea. We'll be looking into that when the time presents itself. By that I mean whenever I make the time and stop being completely lazy. But yeah, I think I'll be continuing to think about empathy more and more, and on for a long time coming. So I'm sure I'll, at some point make the time to read it. But yeah, let's see what another point I want is that the more pain you experience. Yeah, so another point is that the more you experience in life and the more you go through in your life, the more empathy I think that you have. Right? Say judgment per se. One thing that I think is great with the not having empathy is that it helps me not judge people because, like I said, I understand that I don't have empathy, meaning that I always think, well, I don't know this dude. I don't know this person. I don't know what they're feeling, and I'm not going to try to even assume or conjecture what they're feeling, right? So one thing that does is we'll bring Mike up. Say Mike always says, I'm not judging. I don't judge them. I'm not going to judge them. And he says, because, I probably did worse. I was worse. And that's because he went through so much in life. He's able to look at people now and understand, like, all right, I don't know this person. I don't know what they went through. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know anything about them. And even if you do, there's things, again, like I said earlier, that you might not know. So in that, you can't judge people because you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding. So you realize it's like, all right, I don't know them. There might be a reason they are the way they are. There might be a reason they did what they did. There might be a reason for whatever. And the more you go through in life, the more you will understand that. And I think that's the one thing we lack extremely in today's day, at least from what I've experienced, because not having empathy, it does make me stick out. Makes me a little weird. People will look at me and be like, you're a weirdo, you're a robot, you're a printer. But people won't get the things I've been through, why this happened. Like I said, I used to have anger issues. I was pretty emotional. I did have emotions at some point, very much so, out of control, insane ones. Now I don't have them at all. How did I get there? No one will wonder that. People will just, you're weird, you're crazy, you're a robot, you're a psychopath, and that's it. And I see this a lot on that side of things, mostly because I'm the one getting destroyed here or assumed on here and judged. But I think it's important for people to ask more and think more. Why? Why did they do it? Why are they that way? Instead of just, oh, they suck. That was stupid. That was horrible. Let's cancel them. Throw them away. Throw them in the bin, right? And I don't think that's right. That probably seems so whatever. Is that one of the things we should edit? Maybe. Whatever. Will I? I'll go look at it later. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. But yeah, one thing that not being empathetic, but understanding that I'm not, is that I don't judge, and I couldn't imagine looking at someone and thinking, you suck. You're stupid. I couldn't imagine looking. I make jokes with people I know, call them dumb or whatever, just being mean, being funny. Obviously, they know I'm not serious. But I wouldn't I don't judge people. Genuinely speaking, like in my head, I don't sit there and think about them or, that was bad. That was okay. That was horrible. They shouldn't have. Nah. In my head, it's like, man, I wish I could. I want to talk to him. I want to ask him. I'm curious why. If they did something which I don't agree with or I don't understand, I will, I want to go ask. I want to go talk to them and understand it. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, stupid, horrible, disgusting, gross, demonic. Nah. And I couldn't imagine going back to that, but so many people judge, and I'm sure it was important in primitive times for reasons. I've heard that argument, but it's not primitive times anymore. Why do we do it today? Don't do it today. It's not necessary. It's a bad, in my opinion. Not even, is it my opinion? I'm sure there's evidence for it, but I am for sure, you will be you'll be a more fulfilled, happier, content, and joyful person if you don't do it. It's so much work to judge people too, bro. Come on. But yeah, and that's a lack of empathy, right? So, have more empathy in that sense, in the sense that you understanding that you don't understand. Because, and again, like I said, the people that go through more probably get this more, because to one extent they will tell themselves, I'm not allowed to judge. I don't deserve to judge anyone because I probably did worse than them, which is one of the categories I fall under, one of the categories Mike says he falls under. And other people will not judge because they're genuinely just great people. And I hope that you all are genuinely great people. And to another extent, like I said, you're probably not perfect. If you are, again, email me, tell me how. But you've made mistakes. As such, someone else made a mistake. Maybe it was worse than yours in your opinion. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Please, I'm asking, don't judge someone else. You probably don't know why. If you think you know why, you might be wrong. Be careful, right? And it's hard. It's very, very hard, I'm sure. I know at the beginning it was for me a little bit because I used to be extraordinarily judgmental. But I worked on it for a bit of time. But, I did it. And, we can all look at ourselves and say, I was stupid, right? Bring that back. And if you were stupid and if you did stupid things, well, someone else just might have done something stupid that they might look back on, that they're probably looking at right now and thinking that was stupid or wrong or whatever. And, you're saying they're judging them. Don't do that. And I guess that goes back to second chances and forgiveness. Come on, man. Everyone does what they do for a reason. Your pain isn't worse than anyone else's pain. Your pain isn't less worse than anyone else's pain. Pain is pain. Everyone's pain is what they are. Everyone's gone through the worst thing they've ever gone through in their life, and that's fine. Some people went through drug addiction for multiple years and completely, got their lives destroyed. And some people stubbed their toe, and that was the worst thing they ever went through. It doesn't matter. I guess those all go into much, much different topics that I can talk on for a long time. But yeah, anyways, this is the first time we hit 1 hour. Yes, 1 hour and 2 minutes. Look at that. We did it, boys. Talking about empathy and a bunch of other weird, dumb stuff that we'll come back to and name the podcast, which we already did earlier. So yeah, that is all, though, for this episode. I think I could run my mouth for so much longer. I'm sure empathy is going to come up as I am able to think and articulate more and I ponder the thing more, because honestly, my brain's just kind of been flying over so many things with the empathy thing after I had the real... I knew I was bad at empathy, but I didn't know I was completely and utterly incapable of it, as I basically learned. So... I'm going to probably think about it more, and one day we'll come back and revisit the whole empathy, or I'll just speak on it because I ran into a digression or something. But yeah, people with more pain are more empathetic, I think. That's my hypothesis. Empathy is hard. I suck at it. There's many different versions of empathy. Take your empathy with a grain of salt, and be careful when you tell people that you understand. You might not. And also, even if you think you understand, try to ask questions sometimes when it's a more serious topic that they're explaining. Or, say exactly the things you think that they might be feeling so they can confirm or deny. And if they deny, ask them to correct you. Yeah, that's all. Friendships are harder as you get older. Forgive everyone all the time because it makes your life easier. And empathy. Yep, there we go. That's episode, I think this is 7. I'm pretty sure this is 7. But yeah, thank you for sitting with me through this hour. Yeah, I love you if you listened this far. And if you didn't listen this far, I love you as well. And you're forgiven. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I will see you next. Can I find my cursor? Where's my mouse? All right, there we go. I found it. I will see you next week. Thank you once again for listening to episode 6 of Seriously Funny. Please like, subscribe, comment, and again, share. This one might be longer, and that might lower the views. We'll see what happens, and maybe I will try to keep myself down to 40 minutes. But yeah, thank you for listening. I will see you. I'm going to try shorter episodes as well. Maybe I'll try to cut one down to like 30. Anyways, yeah, I will see you next week, as I probably said 78 times again. Peace.